So I believe if you look at the most recent September Nintendo Direct presentation, it absolutely proves something about the Nintendo Switch and where Nintendo is at within the life cycle of this console. You may remember a year or so back, we were starting to hear a lot of rumblings from names like Emily Rogers online, who had accurately leaked numerous different Nintendo products over the years, as well as Nate the Hate, Jeff Grubb, and names that you know online that are somewhat within the inner circle of the gaming industry, all suggest that Nintendo would start to very much pad their release schedule on the current gen hardware with a lot of ports and remasters when Nintendo is getting ready to transition to next gen hardware. It is hard to believe at this point, but the Nintendo Switch originally launched in March of 2017, and that means we are over 6.5 years into this console being sold and available, historically already the longest running home console for Nintendo, granted this is a hybrid, in history period without selling a new successor or something alongside of it. Will the Nintendo Switch live on in some way, shape, or form past the successor being revealed? Yes, it will. There will likely be price cuts, there will likely still be additional games that are even released on the platform, and that will probably happen over the course of a year or two following the launch of the successor to the Nintendo Switch, and ultimately we will see the support for the console ramp down. But I do want to deep dive into some of the proof that yes, indeed, we are sunsetting the Nintendo Switch relatively soon and should be expecting new console hardware right after this. Are you looking to upgrade your wallet game? Well, now is the perfect time with Ridge Wallet. The Ridge Wallet expands to hold up to 12 cards, plus there's room for cash, and all while being incredibly slim. With 30 different colors and styles, there's truly something for everyone. If you're worried about digital thieves, Ridge Wallet is designed with RFID blocking materials to help protect you from digital pickpocketers. And with over 80,000 5-star reviews, you really can't go wrong with Ridge. It's built to last with durable materials, and each wallet even comes with a lifetime warranty. And right now, the Bronco Sweepstakes is going on, which you can enter for free on their website for your chance to win. You get one bonus entry for every $1 you spend on the site, and custom Hennessy products come with up to 1,000 entries. So enter for free at ridge.com/sunbro, find the gear you'll love, and get additional entries for every $1 you spend. Plus, if you use my link, you'll get 10 bonus entries, and use my code sunbro for 10% off your order today. Big thank you to Ridge for sponsoring today's video. So I think the general consensus from yesterday's Direct is that yes, it was a solid presentation overall, but it really didn't have any massive announcements outside of that show closer that I don't think many people saw coming, which was none other than Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Don't get me wrong, that is a huge win. I am very hyped for this game, and I will absolutely be picking it up day one, but you do have to look at how Nintendo is marketing that game as a 2024 title. We then have them focusing in on other games this year, like Mario RPG, which is yet another remake of a classic SNES game. We got a much better look at the most recent Direct for that game, and another one that I'm super hyped for, but also something that is not an original title that you could source out to a B developer team, if you will, while you have your bigger devs working on launch titles or a launch lineup for next generation hardware. When I first saw the Mario vs. Donkey Kong announcement, I honestly thought it was a brand new game. Come to find out, this is technically yet another remake of the Game Boy Advance Donkey Kong Mario, just with a major facelift similar to Mario RPG, how it was from that Game Boy Advance / SNES era graphical style, and they are able to recreate and somewhat stay true to the original game, but just give it the modern visuals that gamers come to expect today. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, or Luigi's Mansion 2 HD as it's now officially being branded, was yet another title that backs up this argument that Nintendo has fully shifted their focus to ports and remasters in terms of padding their release schedule, because yes, this game originally came out on the 3DS, and while I'm excited to see it supported on the Switch, there's no denying the fact that this is again one of the more simple ports that Nintendo can do to have their months filled out with new software releasing, all the while kind of building it up and marketing to us as new exciting releases. But these are in reality games that they have already developed and that already have a framework that just need dev teams to go in and clean them up and make them look better to be able to be resold to us in the Nintendo Switch today. You then factor in that multiple points within the Direct were focused around DLC, as we opened the event with the Splatoon 3 DLC, which by all accounts looks like it's very fun and enjoyable, but of course we're not hearing about a new Splatoon or something that is bigger within the franchise, but rather the continued roadmap of DLC within this game. And you could argue Nintendo does that either way, but we are also in a year where Pokemon is doing the same thing because we have multiple packs of DLC to look forward to on that. One of them just launched the day prior to the Direct, and Nintendo also tends to focus on DLC or additional content to games whenever they are closing out a console lifecycle and or generation. You probably also realize that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 6 was featured at the event, and of course that will put a bow on all of the additional content for Mario Kart. And while I'm very happy we're getting the additional characters of Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Pauline, and Peachette, it's also apparent that Nintendo pivoted and decided to kind of put the Mario Kart Tour team more or less on a double duty position and have them develop tracks for Tour and also port these over to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and give additional content for a game that I don't even think Nintendo saw what was coming in terms of the sales numbers for this thing. And there's no doubt that somewhere out there was a Mario Kart 9, or maybe they call it 10 since Tour could technically be considered 9, in development from Nintendo's bigger team, focusing all of their efforts on that, probably as something of a launch window game for the next generation Nintendo hardware. Now that's just talking about the September Direct, and there are some new games that we could talk about as well. Clearly Princess Peach Showtime is a brand new title from Nintendo, and we also have WarioWare Move It out in October, which is a brand new title, but these I think you could argue are a little bit simpler looking games in terms of their development, their budget, and the overall time and effort that goes into them. And if you rewind to the past couple Directs that we've had in 2023, you've seen more of this pattern emerge. Metroid Prime Remastered is one of my favorite games of 2023. It shadow dropped at the February Direct. Where's Metroid Prime 2 Echoes Remastered? I don't know. That's a remaster I've been waiting for that I was hoping would be dropped at this most recent Direct, and clearly it didn't. But that also fits the bill for Nintendo supplementing their games lineup with older releases, although I think you can argue Metroid Prime is in a little bit of a unique scenario because we have Metroid Prime 4 on the horizon, and whenever you have a 4 in the title, you obviously would love to have the ability to replay the previous titles in the franchise in an easy way, and there's just not an easy way to do that today. So it makes a lot of sense to release 1 through 3, and I still hope we see 2 and 3 released at some point before Prime 4's reveal. But then in the June Direct, we saw Nintendo stick to that GameCube remaster and shadow drop the same day with the Pikmin 1 and 2 announcement, which are very simple HD up-res with some quality of life improvements of the original GameCube games. And it's yet another title that is an easy slot in. Here is our release for this month for Nintendo. And so you see the writing on the wall here. We are not getting the big brand new 3D Mario games released in the current Nintendo Switch era. We are not getting the brand new 3D or 2D Donkey Kong game. We are probably not going to see Metroid Prime 4 actually launch on the Switch. We may still see it at the end of the Switch's life cycle, but I'm starting to believe more and more, due to the fact it wasn't shown off at this most recent presentation, that it is at least bare minimum a cross-generational title that will see a release on next-gen hardware to really showcase what that console can do. When we had those initial reports that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was really something of a swan song for the current generation Switch in terms of quote-unquote heavy hitters, that may still be an accurate statement if you look at Nintendo's big AAA teams in terms of the ones that are really pumping out the top-tier games, because I do believe that the Zeldas, Marios, Animal Crossings, Donkey Kongs of the world, Smash Bros. Something, they are all being saved for next-gen hardware at this point, and this is all happening at a time where you are getting more and more reports that Switch 2 dev kits are out in the wild. We have all of the different technical specifications that we've walked through in previous videos, so if you want to deep dive those, check them out on the channel. Just a few videos back, we talk about all the different capabilities of what these dev kits are supposedly targeting in terms of power and performance, and it's very exciting, by the way. But I think when you align all of that with Nintendo's release schedule and them heavily leaning into this port and remaster strategy that we heard would happen at the end of the Nintendo Switch's life cycle, I think it's fairly safe to say that yes, indeed, we should be expecting some kind of new hardware announcement soon. I personally am not Team 2023 at all for that announcement. I personally think we see it happen in the early part of 2024, and hopefully during that middle of the year, summer or fall time, we will actually be able to go and pick up a true Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever Nintendo decides to call it in our hands and enjoy it with some brand new top-notch Nintendo games to be sold alongside of it. But I really want to hear from you guys at this point in the video, your personal thoughts and opinions on whether or not you think that yes, indeed, we are witnessing the end of the Nintendo Switch's life cycle with the heavy amount of port and remasters that we are seeing sold to us in this generation due to Nintendo's history of doing this at the end of console generations historically. Are you like me and you do see that as what is going on here? Or are you somebody who still thinks that for some reason we may be able to expect the Switch here for a couple more years and we might actually have all of 2024 and some of 2025 to look forward to in terms of game releases on just the hardware we have today? Because I definitely don't think that, but I would love to hear your thought process if you do. So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.